welcome to the CIA Corner here on Top TV. My name is William Zabuli and I'm so excited to have you join me here this very beautiful 17th day in the month of January 2024. If you're seeing this, that is proof of life. But we can say that for some persons in or your state, Ibadan precisely, that an explosion rocked some part of the city yesterday and some lives were lost. A lot of people are injured in the hospital at this point as I speak to you. That's a very unfortunate situation that happened in our state, and our heart goes out to all the affected persons, and the ones that are dead, please accept our condolences, and we hope that our government will do better in ensuring and securing lives and property. And that's part of our conversation for today. Don't go anywhere. When we come back from this very quick break, we'll get into the matters of today. Don't forget that to keep abreast with what we do here, you need to subscribe. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel right now. Click on the subscribe button, turn on your notification, and also connect with us on all our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and of course on X. And do well to stay connected on all of these platforms to us. I'll be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere. Alright, welcome back from that quick break. Let's get into the crux of our discussion today, and we're going to be talking about that explosion that rocked Bodija in Ibadan. From Bodija, it was felt in different parts of the city center in Oyo State, and of course, like I said earlier, 2 confirmed dead and over 70 persons injured and are currently receiving treatment in different parts of the state. The state governor had visited, and of course he revealed to the press that this explosion was caused by IEDs, and these IEDs were being stored in, if you don't know what IED is, it's improvised explosive devices. These devices were being stored in an apartment in a residential area in an estate somewhere around Bodija. And when this explosion occurred, it affected the buildings around there, and of course 2 lives according to the reports, even though we know that more lives were lost. But then of course we don't know why we are receiving reports that there were only 2 dead persons. But if you look at the damage, if you've seen the images coming out of that area, you will notice that the buildings, or the building where these devices were being stored, were flattened. And of course, you could see that huge crater in the middle of that building. Of course, that's because of the level of explosion that occurred there. From the reports, the vibration could be felt from different parts of the cities. We've also seen buildings, with their roofs going off because of that heavy explosion as a result of these devices. So the question is, how come people living close to that place, because we look at it, it's a street, it's sort of like a close. We look at the pictures, it looks like a close, and then people have been seeing these workers, because they say, they are construction and mine workers that store these devices there. So I mean, you as a neighbor, you are going to ask questions, because we do these things as Nigerians. We ask this question: where is somebody carrying cartons into his house every other day? I don't know where these cartons are. You go and sometimes you go and ask the security man. You say, what's your guy they do when they carry all those big cartons? They come here, and sometimes they tell you, okay, this is this and that and that. And then if they ever knew that those were explosive, why didn't they, worry about it? Were concerns raised at any point in time, and the government didn't do anything about it? Because the governor kept saying that government was not aware that these sort of, dangerous explosive devices were being stored in a residential area as that. So we could also see the repercussion of not saying or giving a proper report at the right time. The buildings around there, most of them, they've lost their livelihood. Last night, or the night before, they went to bed, and this morning they are awake with no house again. They are now, on the streets looking for a way forward. What about the injured and the ones that are dead? Because some houses collapsed immediately. Is it possible that there were nobody in those houses when it collapsed? Those are some of the questions people are raising at this time. But the most important lesson I think we should learn from this is that we should be our brother's keepers at every point in time. When you see things that are not consistent with the normal, please ask questions. And when you ask questions, go ahead and report to the right authorities. Okay, so some people will already say, it's like Williams don't understand that he's in Nigeria. No, if you go and report, and the police ends up taking bribe and reporting back to the people that you're the one that came to report us, what's going to become what will be your fate? But then the right thing is that when you go to report to the police, also look for means, ask questions. You can go to a radio station, go to a TV station like this, and we will put out reports regarding that place, and government will, of course, shine their torchlight, the way we say it in local parlance, on that area. So please, I hope that we learn something out of this. And we're also hoping that the government of Oyo State will not just end this press statement by saying that these devices were IEDs and they were used by local miners in some mining, sites around the state. I hope a thorough investigation is carried out to ensure that it was really nothing out of the ordinary. It was not a terrorist attack, because recently there has been some, I don't know how to put it, but there has been some attacks in some states around Nigeria, and that brings me to my next story. The insecurity that has been reported in the city of Abuja, that's the Federal Capital Territory. We know that Abuja is, how would I put it, like, is the capital of Nigeria. That's one, which means that's the seat of power, and it's supposed to be like the most secured or protected state in the country. But unfortunately, recently, there has been attacks that has, aroused the concerns of Nigerians. They are like, what is going on? Has our capital city become so porous that kidnappers, hoodlums, or headsmen, or terrorists, or Boko Haram, or whatever they are, will go into a local government as close to the main city as Buhari local government, and kidnap 6 girls from a family. Not just kidnap them, they went ahead to kill one as a sort of warning to the parents when they delayed in paying the 60 million naira ransom they demanded. Sometime last week we saw on Twitter where the former Minister of Communications and Digital Economy came up to tweet that his friend was going to pay off the 60 million naira ransom that was being demanded by these terrorists. And not just him, remember that also the First Lady of Nigeria, Tinubu, also came up to call for prayers for these 6 girls that were kidnapped from Buhari. And this makes me laugh. And I was wondering that, as Nigerians, are we always going to depend on prayers to feel secured and safe in this country? Did we vote in our political leaders for us to be praying every time? When we want to travel, you need to see kabashing. I don't know if you live in Nigeria, if you don't kabash. I don't know who you are. That means you must be a god yourself. To travel in Nigeria, especially during the Christmas period, I know how I pray though. Not just pray, I used to fast. Not for only myself, for my family, for my friends, for everything that is connected to me. I don't think people living abroad do all this things. They pray to God though, but I'm sure they spend more time praising God than asking for safety and asking for, I don't want kidnappers to kidnap, I don't have money in my bank account. I don't have loan services to borrow money to save my sister and my brother. So when the president's wife called for prayers, and all the government dignitaries that gave, lend their voices to, to say that we don't enjoy the fact that people are being kidnapped, especially these 6, family members that were in the hands of kidnappers. We pray for their safe recovery. Can we get to the point where we don't have to be praying every time for safety, and let our government take responsibility in securing lives and property? So recently we saw the president gather the security chiefs, and they started talking about how to tackle this menace, because I think it's really a good one that he has called on the security chiefs. But really, if you look at it too, if these security chiefs are doing their jobs properly, I mean, it's a shame on them. It's a real big indictment on their job as security chiefs, that the Federal Capital Territory is becoming an unsafe place. Residents there are beginning to feel very unsafe. It's a big indictment on them. And if the Federal Capital Territory residents cannot feel safe, then I mean, where else in the country will be feeling a sense of safety? So it's an indictment on them, and I hope that they rise up to the occasion and begin to deal decisively with this miscreants. Because if we don't, repel or answer these miscreants with the right answer, I mean, they could take over the city. We're talking about the jailbreak in Abuja a few years ago. Also, there have been attacks in Abuja that have shown that, yes, Abuja is somehow porous. And for me, that is something that they should begin to change. That notion should change, that Abuja is a porous place. I mean, it's the capital city, and it should be the seat of power and one of the most impenetrable points in this country. So with all of these reports coming out of that city, it's not really good. For both the Minister of the FCT, our former governor here in Rivers State, Wike, that we also saw called a cabinet meeting of all the council chiefs, council chairmen, and gave them charge to ensure that they rose up to this challenge and begin to do their jobs as it is required of them, and to avoid further occurrences of this kind of situation. I really feel sorry, and my heart goes out to the family of those young ladies that are in captivity at this time, and we hope that they come out of captivity safe. I just don't want to go further. Imagining some of the horrors that they have to go through as young as they are. The first girl that was shot as some kind of punishment was already a 300 level student in ABU Zaria, and that's a very unfortunate. I mean, for me, this is a classic case of Nigeria has happened to that young lady. We just hope that Nigeria doesn't happen to any of us, while we hope on our leaders to take responsibility of some of the things that were handed to them to take care of. It's unfortunate that we used to talk about all of these things every now and then. Insecurity is becoming a normal thing in the country. People are beginning to live normally with the idea that anything can happen while I'm traveling. Anything can happen while I'm in my house. Anything can happen when I go to my farm, especially those people living in the north. And it's not like down here in the south we're safe. But then this is something that has become a real concern for Nigerians. And we're hoping that this new administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will do better. We're not saying that we will solve all the problems in one day, but we are hoping that he will rise up to the occasion and begin to fight this menace of insecurity to the barest minimum. I mean, it will really say a lot about what his priorities are for Nigeria, and of course it will change the economy of this country. If we can fight insecurity, of course there will be more investments in this country. Not just the investment, more people will feel more confident in his administration as the president of Nigeria. Well, I'm going to draw the curtain here. If you have more views and more opinions about the two stories I just spoke about, please drop it on the comment section. We would like to hear from you. Let's make this very interactive. So drop your comments and the reaction on the comment section as you follow us here on our channel. Until next time I come your way again on the CIA Corner, my name is William Sabule. See you some other time.